Have you ever wondered what the first apartments looked like? Have you ever wondered what apartments looked like pre-flood, prehistoric? Before anyone even started knocking them up with bricks and blocks. Maybe these apartments weren't for humans. Yes, welcome back. As always, thanks a lot for being here, and I appreciate every single one of you for giving me your time. Today we're going to be examining this section on the map, which is an extension of the Valletta Star City, and it's actually a radiant part of a cymatic pattern. That's actually another town called Floriana, but it's all one thing. Now, I'm going to be showing you what these ancient apartments look like. People call them air raid shelters. But when you go on tours underground, they will tell you that the air raid shelters were ironically dug out before World War II. So something fishy was going on there. But we won't talk about the narrative, we'll just talk about what we've got in front of us. The evidence, the boots on the ground. And I'm going to be showing you that these are man-made structures made by megalithic blockwork and certain shapes, mainly blocks, big square blocks and triangles that make up these patterns. And I will be showing you at least 3 apartments today. Never ever seen before. Render on the wall. Let's go. A lot of these have been blocked up, and you can see that people have just been throwing rubbish in them. But what I want you to watch out for is the joint marks on the walls. You can see that the limestone has been poured directly over the block or the triangle shape underneath it. Now, triangle is actually the strongest shape known, and that is why it's incorporated into all the building. Let's have a look. You can see, look, they've got I think someone was living in one of these. I'll show you, we'll get to it. And don't think I'm lying when I say that. There is, and I've come across it many a time before, people from Libya, Ethiopia, mainly them sort of characters, because they flee their countries and Malta is the gateway to Europe. But some of them get trapped here and have to live in mad places like this. But look at this. Look at this. Sectional blockwork cast directly on top of each other, and you can see this. Look at this. Unbelievable. I need you to follow the walls, because when you follow the walls you see the joint marks. And the joint marks, they have actually tried to cover it up. Look.
Directly on top. Right? Directly on top.
So this has been cast on top of each other. Now these are extremely advanced cymatic patterns. And like I say, and I've always said this, and I'm going to keep on saying this till I'm blue in the face. These are complexes. These are, in my opinion, the most oldest complexes in the world, and they're still in pristine condition. And the reason they're still in pristine condition is because they've been adopted. They've been adopted by the Western world, and they've been turned into fortifications for subliminal programming. Look at this sectional blockwork, and like I always say, like I've always said, the ceilings and the walls are where they have been cast on top of each other. Look at this. Look at this. Phenomenal. And some old tools in there, eh? Crazy stuff. But please follow the joints. Follow the joints and you will see that these places have been cast. Some sort of cable must have gone there, or pipe.
But you can see, look what I mean by the ceiling.
Look at this.
It's just cast.
Cast directly on top.
Just cast on top.
Unbelievable. There's some cables coming out the wall there, huh? What's that about, huh? But you can see the joint is always from the ceiling to the wall. And that shows you that they've just cast like the ceiling. So you put the walls up, and then the ceiling goes over it. Look at this. Look at this. Like I said, it's always squares and triangles. They cast it in squares and triangles. So that was just one. That was one. So don't worry, that was not... We've got a few to go through here. A lot of them have been blocked up. A lot have been blocked up. And a lot of them have been blocked up with blockwork that seems to predate World War II, which you will see. I mean, look at this. Again, you can see how they've just been cast on top of each other. That is one solid block underneath the ceiling. And the ceiling is another solid block. But it's just so big that you can't get the whole thing in the frame. But they have been cast on top of each other. These are not striations.
See it?
So the reason I'm zooming in on these parts so you can see that they have been cast directly on top of each other.
On top, look.
Look at that. And in England, look at this. Like, this is so advanced. These are not air raid shelters. But look at the line in the centre of the room. You can see it running round. It's sectional blockwork. And again, the separation between the ceiling and the roof. The walls were done, then the ceiling goes on top, blockwork. Maybe it might be one massive slab. Look at this, eh? Phenomenal. And I bet my bottom dollar these walls were rendered. That's why there's all these scratch marks over the wall. But look at the joints between the ceiling and the walls. And I believe someone was living in this apartment, by the way. An illegal immigrant was living in this apartment. Look. Sectional blockwork. And that's almost a different mix from the top to the bottom. Look at that. The one underneath seems a bit more yellow. And again, you can see the joint. You can see this is phenomenal. Phenomenal. And I'm not going to blow my own trumpet too much, but no one else is doing this sort of work. All people do is sit at home and speculate and come up with the most maddest theories. Look at this. Someone was living in here. Look at this. There's a bed. Some clothes.
Someone's living in it.
A pot. Maybe they weren't living in it now, but at one point they were living in this place. Look, and again, this went even further back, but it had been blocked up. So you have to be very careful in these places. There's a lot of... there's quite a few drug addicts in Malta. Quite a few. So that's one massive apartment. And that was like a 2-bedroom apartment, but we don't know how far that went in because don't forget there was that blocked up door, so we couldn't go any further. And when I say these are apartments, these are part of look at the cast directly on top of each other. Look at this. This is undeniable proof. Undeniable proof this has been cast on top of each other. This is like the most advanced building techniques I've ever seen in my life, and it seems to be the most primitive. I don't mean primitive as in basic, I mean the earliest. Again, how old is that blockwork that's blocking up that in there? And look at it. And another thing is, all of these cymatic patterns in Malta, they all have these, all of them, every single one is identical. They all have these apartments running around them. And I don't mean running around them with legs and that, I mean literally on the outskirts of all the frequency patterns, you've got the apartments. And some of them are so remote that it wouldn't make any sense for them to be air raid shelters, because by the time you got to there, to be protected from the bombing, you wouldn't make it there. You definitely wouldn't make it there.
But this is overgrown since last time.
But this is just like in England or anywhere else, and what they've started to do here, and because I've been here before, last time I come to this spot was about 4 years ago, and it wasn't overgrown like this. So what they've done, and it's a technique that we've noticed in England now, and now that I've noticed it and everyone's going out and filming the same stuff, we know that what they do is they just tactically plant bushes, trees, thorn bushes. They even go as far as putting bees' nests and things like that there. It's just pure deterrence. Just pure deterrence. And that's what's going on here. So they've took a leaf out of the book in England and they've started to let stuff overgrow and tactically plant trees in front of stuff. Now, like I said, This is another part of the island. You can see Gabby posing. And what they've done is they chop down the geopolymer and they build on top with the blocks made out of the geopolymer that they've broken down. Look at it. And this is abundant all over Malta. And I'm going to be making so many documentaries on this stuff. And I'm going to document every single bit of it. You can see all the mosquitoes. But look at this, eh? This is something you'd find in Cappadocia, Iran, Libya, or somewhere like that. Render on the wall here, by the way. Look at that. And also,
here you've got render on the wall.
Look at that. So much render on the wall in this one. But look at the joint marks running around the walls. Look at that, where they've cast it directly over each other.
Sectional.
Like, I must sound like a parrot.
Cast.
But look at that, filling in the joints. Because I'll tell you why they fill the joints in. Because when they render it, if you was to render over that and the joint wasn't filled in, then the render would just seep into the cracks, into the joints, and it would look awful. So they get the whole wall flat by filling in the joints, and then they render over it. And why am I saying that? Just look at the proof. Look at the proof. There's render over the walls and the joints are filled in. And again, same old story. The roof or the ceiling is cast directly on top. Now look at this. And again, like, this just seems like someone's broke through here, but like, look at all this old stuff in here. I didn't want to go in there because it just, look at that. This goes on even more. This goes on even further. But listen, when you're underground on your own and you have, what should we say, strange characters lurking in these areas, like illegal immigrants, it does get a bit scary. But again, look at the blockwork. You can see where it's been cast on top of each other. These ain't cracks. You can see that some of it's folding over and overlapping the bottom layer. Look at it. Sectional blockwork. Megalithic blocks. And the render on the wall. Look at that, eh? Look at that. Please make sure you like this video and share it, because this, I'm only going to get better and better as I go along. Only going to get better and better. The footage is going to get better and better. The stuff that I've got to show you, I can't actually tell you, because I know if I tell you now, it's going to get blocked up by the time I get there. Look, see what I mean? Paraphernalia. These places are not safe. I recommend not going to these places on your own, purely for the fact that there's shafts in these places. There's needles, there's paraphernalia of other drugs, and there's real hungry, dodgy characters. I mean, look at that. That was just one apartment. That was just one apartment. Now, if that was an air raid shelter, it'd just be one big room, wouldn't it? But these are corridors, hallways, you've got rooms, you've got services running around the walls, render on the wall. And let me just tell you one other thing. Literally, within 30 meters of where I'm standing right now, there is the old world transport system that's incorporated into all this geopolymer. But look how they have let all this grow over it, all over the walls. Behind all that bush is more apartments. But because I've got shorts on, and I'm scared of all these lizards and stuff, I don't really want to go in there. But when I get protective clothing, I will be going in there. Now, if you look on the other side, just on the other side of this statue thing in the middle, that was actually, if you look at the base of that arch is actually geopolymer. So that tells me that they've smashed that up and then built up and carried on copying what structure it was before. And again, all the apartments down there, they're all apartments tactically hiding behind the bush. Basically, wherever you see bush, there is apartments. See, no bush along here, no apartments. do you get it now? Do you get what I'm saying? So this is all done on purpose. They hide it all on purpose with the bushes. Right, I know for a fact no one's seen that stuff before. And that's why, I know I keep saying it, but you have to subscribe to this channel. You have to subscribe, because you're not going to see this anywhere else. We're not at home speculating. We're out here, boots on the ground, getting some serious nuggets, trying to work stuff out. Now this is just a snippet of my next video, and you're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it. You're not going to believe the stuff that I'm coming across. And again, I keep saying it, I can't say too much, because if I say too much, the stuff's going to get blocked up. I know that there's a gang of people going around blocking everything up, because a lot of stuff that I've filmed already, that I've gone back to, it's been blocked up. So make sure to subscribe. Please, please share this stuff, because it means so much. It means everything to me, because we need to get this stuff out there. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Today I'm going to go out and get more nuggets. I'm going to go to another part of this complex where I know there's more apartments. So again, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment and share, and please support the work if you can. And one love, everyone. Ta-da. Ta-das.